From the SNC World Headquarters in New York, I'm Haley Bianco, and here are the stories we're following at this hour. Israel's foreign minister confirms that Hamas's top leader, Yahya Sinwar, was killed by Israeli forces in Gaza. According to the Pentagon, the U.S. Air Force has bombed several weapons storage facilities in Yemen. It claims that's where Houthi militants have been launching attacks on civilian and military vessels. Stuart Smith reports.
Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin said B-2 stealth bombers were used to precisely hit the underground weapons storage facilities in Yemen. They reportedly belonged to a Houthi armed group supported by Iran, which has been using Yemen as a launch pad for attacks against vessels transiting the Red Sea. American and British forces have been trying to stop them. The Houthis say they are taking action in response to Israel's attacks in Gaza and Lebanon. In Baghdad, Stuart Smith, Salem News Channel.
President Biden is making a quick trip to Germany before the U.S. election to discuss Ukraine and democracy with allies. Biden will spend Friday in Berlin with German Chancellor Olaf Scholz. There is also a planned meeting with other leaders in the European Quad, a group that, in addition to Biden and Scholz, includes the President of France and Britain's Prime Minister. Hurricanes Helene and Milton were so devastating that expenses are still being added up. Jeremy House takes a closer look at how much recovering from these hurricanes could cost.
Economics, insurance, and risk experts believe the storms are likely to be in the pantheon of super costly $50 billion disasters. That would put them in the company of storms like Katrina, Sandy, and Harvey. Making those costs even more painful is that most of that damage, particularly in Helene's case, was not insured.
Early in-person voting kicked off today in North Carolina, 3 weeks after Hurricane Helene devastated large swaths of the state. Officials have approved changes to the voting rules in impacted areas to help ensure everyone has equal access to the ballot box. Tony Waterman has more.
Officials in North Carolina say 76 out of 80 early voting sites in the hardest hit counties will be open on Thursday, and that these voting locations will be well staffed. Recent rule changes also allow for extended early voting days and hours and offer more flexibility around mail-in and drop-off voting for those in these affected areas. North Carolina is a crucial battleground state, one that Donald Trump won by just about 74,000 votes in 2020, and much of his support came from the areas impacted by Helene.
Johnson & Johnson raised its 2024 profit and sales forecasts after reporting strong sales of oncology drugs and quarterly results that beat Wall Street expectations. Sales of J&J's oncology drugs rose nearly 19% worldwide for the quarter. Now let's check out today's closing bell numbers. New England leaf watching season is in full swing, with tourists flocking to the region for scenic hikes, drives, train rides, and bus tours to soak in the vibrant hues of red, orange, and bronze. With quaint towns and covered bridges scattered through swaths of changing forest, the rural Northeast provides an ideal setting to view nature's annual show. And that's what you need to know at this hour. In New York, I'm Haley Bianco, Salem News Channel.